Here are 18 things that you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult. Number one, you're going to try to go organize something and you get distracted very easily. For example, you're going to try to organize a side of a room or something. You pass by the TV, it just happens to be on. You're like, oh, wow, that is my show. That's a show that I always watch. I'm just going to sit down and watch for a minute. Next thing you know, 2 hours later, you're still sitting down watching your show. You have not even gotten to the room to organize whatever you're trying to organize. Or you might be walking to the kitchen to organize some pots and pans. You walk by your desk, you see you're out of highlighters, and then you start thinking about, okay, I need some different highlighters, blue, yellow, whatever. And you go through that process, figure out how many you need, and now you've got completely distracted from your mission to go to the kitchen and organize it in some way. And here's something else you only notice if you're organized as an ADHD adult is that the little things matter. For example, you have your nightstand, you have all this stuff on there. You want to get all the non-essential stuff off there and just have the essential things so that when you look at your nightstand, you know that you're not missing anything. It's not hiding other stuff on there that you don't really need. That just saves you time. Or you might have a bathroom ladder or a ladder in your bathroom, and they do make them. And the cool thing about this is that when you have one, it just makes it so much easier to hang your towels or washcloths right there so they don't end up on the floor, or maybe they don't end up in the chair in your room or whatever. You have a place right there. It just makes it so much easier, and it helps to keep your bathroom a little cleaner as well. And here's something else you may only notice when you're an ADHD adult is that you want to be able to see things. You want to make sure that everything is visual. And one way that you can do this is to have clear containers where you can see all your food. You just look over, you know exactly what's in that container, or you have clear bins of stuff you put in stores so you can automatically look over there and see what's inside. This will be so helpful to you because of the fact now you're not guessing. Now you're not having to go through different things because you may not remember something where it is, that you can just look and you'll automatically be reminded. You'll automatically know exactly what you're looking for, if it's in there or not. And it's just going to be so good for you. And you notice the difference when you're organizing because of the fact that when you do have to go and try to find something, if you do have to go and try to look for something you may have lost or may have misplaced, you'll be able to find it a lot quicker. And something else you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that you want to have a place where your keys, your phone, and your wallet is each and every day. Because when you have ADHD, a lot of times, these are the three top things that you misplace all of the time. You spend so much time trying to find them, looking for them, not knowing where they are. But if you have a designated place where you walk in and put all that stuff down, it makes it really easy, because if you look over there and notice, hey, that stuff is not on there, you can immediately be reminded, okay, I need to find it and put it back there, or otherwise I won't know where it is in the morning when I get ready to leave. So this is going to be one of the things that you want to make sure that you have, and you will notice the difference immediately once you have that place established. And once you get in the habit of putting those things there, you'll notice how much time you're saving. And something else you only notice when you have ADHD and you're organizing is going to be that you keep things way too long. That suit that you have, or that dress you have from 1965, that's still in your closet, or maybe you got a hand-me-down that's still in your closet and you know you're not going to wear, it's just taking up space and you just kept it and kept it and kept it for sentimental reasons, and you've never gotten rid of it. You notice that those things are there because when you look through your closet, you find all those things. You're like, why do I have this? Why is this in my closet? Or maybe you just have stuff that's just worn out or broken, and you're gonna take it and throw it in the trash or get rid of it someday. But every time you think about doing it, you get distracted by something else and you end up keeping it. It ends up being in your house or apartment, just taking up space. But that's not good, because we can all use more space. You might be thinking about buying something for your house, but think about it again and say, I don't have the space, but these things are in there that you've just kept. You could get rid of those and then you would have the space for whatever you're going to buy. And something else you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is all the stuff that you bought impulsively that you don't really need, but you bought it anyway. For example, you bought a cat tree. Now, you don't have a cat, you've never had a cat, you're not even sure if you want a cat. It was on sale though, and you just thought, hey, this is a great deal. Someday I might have a cat. Someday I might have two or three cats. But you bought it. You didn't need it. You still don't need it. It's in your house or apartment. You just haven't got rid of it yet. And you're thinking about it. You're like, well, I don't want to throw it away. I want to give it away to someone. Maybe you don't get it over to that person, or maybe you never find a person for it, and it's still in your house, still in your apartment as clutter, and it's not needed. Now, I wonder, what kind of things have you bought impulsively that you still have in your house or apartment that you just haven't got rid of? Let me know in the comments. And another thing you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is all the things you have forgot that you actually have. You might be walking by and saying, wow, there are those beach chairs that I bought. I've been looking for those. I just bought new ones too. And you completely forgot you had a perfectly good set somewhere in your house or apartment, or you just couldn't find them. And then later you just completely forgot about them. And so this happens a lot of times when you're just putting something away and you put it somewhere where you can't really see it. And then just time goes by and then you just don't remember that it's there. A lot of times when you move to, this might be a thing that happens, is you find stuff that you're like, wow, I didn't even know I had that anymore. I bought this on, this day or that day or whatever. And then you finally see it. And then you realize you may have a whole bunch of duplicate stuff at that time as well. And something else you only notice when organizing with ADHD is the fact that you need to have a drop zone and how valuable one is. Because of the fact that sometimes you just need a place to put some clutter or something you found without taking a whole bunch of time to think about where it goes, because you might be in a rush or something, or you might just be, hey, I don't want to sit and do this for 20 or 35 minutes. I just want to go through, find whatever I need to find that needs to go in that place and put it over there. And then you can have multiple ones around your house or apartment as well. It's just a place that makes it super easy to put clutter in a specific location instead of having it all around your house. And then eventually you go through whatever's in the drop zone and decide if you're going to throw away that stuff or keep it, or wherever it needs to actually be placed, you go through and do that. And something else you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that your working memory needs help, and a pen and a pad is awesome for it. Because of the fact working memory is a memory that you use when you take in information and you want to do it in a short term, try to figure out what you can do with that information, like what it applies to, and figure things out in your head real quick. That's the working memory. Well, just like when you have a computer and a computer has RAM in it, and when the computer tries to do a whole bunch of different things, it slows your computer down to a crawl, and all you're seeing is that little busy symbol on the screen. You're wondering why that symbol won't stop. It's because it's completely out of things that it can do at one time. Working memory is kind of like that. When you take in so much information you're trying to work with, trying to figure everything out, at some point you just kind of run out of it, and you have to get some of that stuff out of your mind onto somewhere, and a pen and a pad is awesome for that. And it's really simple, really great, really easy to use as well. And it just has such a great benefit when you're working with a working memory that may be working as a deficit when you have ADHD. And sometimes you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is how valuable color organization can actually be. Because what you do is you take colors and you assign them to different things, so you can start associating those colors with different things. You can automatically look over and say, hey, there's a blue folder over there. I've put all that color for vacation stuff. Or you might say, hey, there's another folder for bills. All that stuff is in a red folder. Or you have a different container and you associate a color with certain things that are in that container. So now you can automatically go through and look, and as soon as you see that color, you'll say, oh, I know what's in that container, or oh, I know what's in that folder. And you'll get into the habit of doing that. And that way you can find things a lot easier as well, because you've put them in a specific container or folder of a specific color. You'll be able to find them super quick. You want to go all looking around, looking through, this container, this folder, not knowing where it is, trying to go through like 10 or 15 different things, and then realizing it's not in any of them. And now you're just frustrated because you still don't know where it is, and you really need to find it. It's really important. When you're using color organization, you can kind of prevent that whole thing. As all you have to do is just make sure that you're putting whatever you have associated with that color in that certain thing that you want to retrieve later. And it's gonna be one of the things that's just gonna make it so that you save time. It's gonna let you have less frustration, and it's gonna allow you to get things done as well. And something else you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that you spend a lot of time kind of going to different places to find the things that you need to do a task. And your environment is not set up like that to where you have everything in one area. For example, you have a workspace and you go to sit down and do some work project or whatever, and you have your stuff there. You're okay. I need a pen. Okay, wait, those pens are in the other room. I gotta go there and get that. Oh, I need a pad. Oh man, that pad's in this other place over here. Oh, I need to go back and get my stuff for work and bring it back in here. And then you're going and looking through like 5 or 6 different places, and it's like 15 minutes and you still have not sat down and started anything. You're still looking for stuff and going through stuff and trying to figure out where stuff is. And then you have to go through and like count all the stuff that you're trying to figure out where, do you have everything you actually need? Then you go back and double check that stuff to make sure. And then you might still have forgotten that one thing that you actually need. Instead of having everything that you need in one place to where you don't have to do all that, it's going to just save you time, because one, when you go there, you're going to immediately know that all the stuff is there that you need, and you don't have to go looking around different places for it. And two, you can just go there and get started immediately. And something else you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that breaking things down is awesome for you, because of the fact you might have a big goal and you just look at that goal and might get overwhelmed by, hey, I got to clean my whole house. That's a lot of work. That's going to take a long time to do. And so you look at that, you might get a little bit frustrated. That's going to take you a big amount of work and time to get through doing your whole house, especially when you think, okay, I got to do it in one day because I don't want to do it tomorrow. So instead, what you want to do is you want to break that task down. Okay, today I'm going to clean this side of the room, or today I'm going to clean this section of the house, or whatever, right? However you want to break it down, that's good for you. And because of that, it makes it a lot easier, a lot more manageable to you, because, hey, I've got this part to do. I've got that part to do, and I'm going to get through as much of that as I can. And maybe I'll even finish it, and that will be good as well. And the other thing is, a great way to break this down is to do just a little bit of decluttering or organizing each day. Take 10 minutes in a day and just go through and throw out stuff, put stuff back, organize a little bit. And if you get in the habit of doing that each day, that's going to help you maintain, if you have cleaned already, maintain that area, but also it's going to help you go ahead and reduce the amount of clutter or things that are just out of place around your house. And sometimes you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that a basket is invaluable and probably the most easy hack you will find ever for doing organization, because of the fact they come in all sorts of different sizes. You can get one, place it anywhere in your house or apartment you need one, and then you can put stuff in there. Really just drop it into the basket. And one thing that's really good about it, besides the fact that you can just put them wherever you want to, is the fact that you generally can see what is in the basket. And that's really important for ADHD, because of the fact that you can look over and automatically look and say, okay, hey, there's towels in that basket, or there's this in that basket, or that in that basket. The fact that you can just go over and just automatically just look inside, in a few seconds or a couple of seconds, you'll know exactly what is in the basket as well. And something else you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that labels are essential to everywhere in your house, basically, because of the fact that you need to be able to find what you're looking for, and a label just makes it so much easier. Whether you're writing on the label or whether you have different colors of labels or however you want to do it, you kind of need to have some way to make it super easy, so you don't have to try to figure out while you're sitting there, okay, what is that? Okay, where is that? Is that already in here or whatever? Besides using color organization, labels are going to be your best friend, because of the fact that once you have them on there, you've written whatever's on there, you don't have to work to try to figure out where something is. You can automatically just look over and know if that is the right thing or if that is the wrong thing, or even that may need a label because you're not sure what it is and you need to go and put a label on it. So next time you'll know exactly what is in there because of the label that you can read. And sometimes you only notice as an ADHD adult is that clutter just makes a room feel more stressful. You ever walked into a room, there's a lot of clutter around it. You get there, you're just like, oh, I just don't feel very comfortable in this room because it just gives you more stress to just be in a room and not be able to find a place where you can go and not be around stuff. And it just doesn't feel like there's enough space there. And so when you're in a room like that, as soon as you start organizing and decluttering that room and moving stuff out and then making it so you have maybe use your vertical space up the wall so it just looks more spacious, then you will feel more comfortable as you walk into that room or just being in that room, because it's really hard when you are in a room has clutter around it. Even if you're like in the room trying to sleep, it's just harder to sleep in that kind of area. So you'll notice it. And then once you start getting everything in order, you'll notice how that distress decreases and you feel much better about that room in general. And something else you only notice when you're organizing as an ADHD adult is going to be the power of body doubling or using a body double. No, I'm not talking about stunt double in like a movie or whatever. It's a theory, a practice of when that friend, when that person is in the room with you, their presence motivates you to do whatever you need to do. Generally because of the fact that they're there, they came over to hang out with you. You probably told them, hey, I need to clean my house or whatever. And while they're there, you're going to actually go through the action of, hey, I do need to clean my house. I do need to tell them or do the activity I told them I was going to do when they were coming over to hang out in the first place. And so that's just a very powerful thing that you can do that's really simple and easy. And you might have more fun having that friend over too, just to hang out. So it makes it more enjoyable. So you'll only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that it's okay to be creative. Let your creativity show through. If you like certain things one way and it may not be the way someone else likes it, that's okay. Go ahead and make your apartment or house and just let your creativity flow, because I think people actually appreciate it if you do things in a creative way, even if they're like, I would never do that myself. But then they get into your house or apartment, they're like, wow, that's pretty cool anyway, right? So just be creative, just have fun with it, just be able to set up your house or apartment so it's comfortable for you. And that is a really big thing, because when you go home and when you're in your living space, you want to be able to be comfortable. So just let your creativity flow. And something else you only notice when organizing as an ADHD adult is that you can succeed as a beginner. You don't have to be an expert at this. You can just start and then just figure it out as you go along, and then figure out what you like and what you don't like and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But you can just begin at any time. It doesn't have to be a special time. You don't have to take a whole bunch of time to be like, hey, I've never done this before. There's a lot of people who haven't done it before and I don't know what I'm doing. And that's fine, because when you first start out, you just have to practice. You just have to figure out things the way that you want them to have, the way you want them in your apartment, in your house. Whatever makes you more comfortable, whatever you like, you can definitely succeed at organizing as an ADHD adult. As a beginner, it might seem hard at the beginning, but once you get into it, you'll realize, hey, I can really, really do this. And I not only have this video on that helps you through that process, there's another video that goes over how to instantly get better as a beginner when you're organizing with ADHD. And that video is awesome, and you can see that video right here.